day and welcome to another edition at Jaguar E-Type, the original in details. Today, also on request of some other guys out there, I'm explaining a few details about the Genie hose clamps and the low pressure clamps. And there were some variation, there's some reproduction, and there were some early clamps, some later clamps, and I tried to help you to find out if you have the right ones or what to look out for if you search for the right ones. So first of all, we're getting our information from the spare parts catalog. I think most of you have that. That is a kind of the Bible. This is my workshop edition. It's a bit rough, but it still works, and yeah. So mainly these clamps are used for the heating and cooling system. So let's take a page here, and this shows you down here at the far left bottom side. You see hose connecting pipe bottom, and then you see the clip size. Here on the far left it says C2905. That's a part number for any Genie clamp. And 5 and 4 gives you the size, the diameter, and actually here it doesn't tell you the size. It only gives you a number, and you need to find what diameter that is. It is not the number engraved on the clamp itself. So I found this page on internet. And this tells me a 2905 number 4 actually is a 2A size, and it also tells you where it's been used. So the 5 is actually then the number 2, and so on. And you see here the 1 is the 00, and the 2 is the 0. So 0 is not the smallest. The smallest one we use is a 00, and I will show you some examples. But this is actually one of the best tables I could find, and it also indicates you here at the bottom how many of each you would need. So, but this list then is related to the 3.8 Jaguar, and they had different expansion tank and different connections to the radiator. So that might vary, but it helps you to identify the size. What is indicated in the catalog as 2905/2 means you need to have a 0 on the clamp itself. Okay, so then we start with the clamps. We had low pressure clamps, which were like these. So these are not Genie, they are not branded, but they do have a size written on it. And they also come in various sizes, like 5/8 and 11/16. I even found 3/4, but these sizes you find in the spare parts book. And there's also attached to the other table, there is one list indicating these numbers. As in the spare parts book, it only gives you a part number and not the size, really. So these are the low pressure for the brake bellow, for the vacuum hoses and stuff. And after the low pressure hose clamps, then were the these clamps. These were the first I discovered, and they do not have a brand name on it, and that was really odd. But these are original clamps, so these must be very early ones, and they do have the AGS 605, which are also on the later ones, and it says patent. What does it say? Patent applied for? Yeah, patent applied for. So that was one of the earliest, and this is size 00. So this is the smallest actually, and when you compare that with the other one, this is a later original Genie. They are identical. So, and there it says patents. So it's world patents already, AGS, and they have a number, and it says made in England. So I presume that these are both original Genies, and only the very first, they did not have the brand name on it, just the patent applied for, and these were actually the very first ones. Later ones, I'll come to this later, and as you can see, they also have some writing in here. This is an original. I didn't clean this one, but this shows you the original, how they look when they have been used. So let's take this one, and here this is a bit cleaner. So this is the number 0, and this also says double grip, and it also says AGS 605 and nothing else. And here you see, in here there's a writing, as you can see in the pictures now I'm showing you. So these were actually, it was the AGS, these were the first ones with the patent, so don't throw these away. These were probably on the very first cars. AGS 605, which is now brought back on here to give space for the Cheney and the size. And so these bows could be seen on very early cars. AGS 605. And these have a writing in here. This one did not. That was maybe a prototype or the first batch. No idea. You also see that this is a larger one. I think this is for the fuel hose. This is the same idea. It gives you the number 3, and it's again AGS here, and you find again the writing in the rear, as you can see here. So this is an early one again, and yeah, this one is original, uncleaned, and I took this to show you another thing, which is the reproduction. So you can get the reproductions, which is this one, and they both say 00. They both pretend to be AGS, as you can see here in the. They want to write here AGS 605, but that has nothing to do with the writing on this one. So this is the repro, and you can tell these are really soft, where these are really solid. Another thing to identify, to distinguish, is the width, and you see the reproduction on the 00 is larger than the original. Also the head, this has a face on here, on the screws. You can see this. I will show you some pictures. This one is dead flat. This one has no writing on the inside, as this one does. This is a repro, easy to identify, completely different writing. They have the same text on it, but different writing or font. So be aware of the repros. They're really soft. I tried to get them on. When you tighten them, they just slip over, and they look okay, but when you really tighten them, they don't work really. So stick to the originals. This is why they're so expensive. I think I bought some of these for $20. I found them in the States or on old cars. So this is the original, and when. So these AGS, I think that continues until mid 62 or a bit later, and then we had the British Standard, and I'm not sure if this is the right one. Just as an example. So this one here now is a later one. This one has the British Standard, as you can see here, British Standard 3628. And it is also Cheney, and it also has a number on it. Some have the number on the side, so it should be in here, but maybe that's been wiped off. And these also do have a writing on the inside, so that is very hard to reproduce. And but this is how you identify the originals. So what does it say in here? Can you read that? Yeah, it says British Standard and then a number on it. So these are the later ones. As the early ones, they don't have the British Standard on it. So to sum up, we could say that apart from the low pressure clamps, we have the early Shinny clamps, which have the AGS 605 on it and always the writing on the inside. But there were some very early ones which had only a patent applied for on it. Then we had later, and not sure when that was because the catalogue doesn't say and is mentioned nowhere when the British standard was introduced. Maybe someone knows and writes it below the video, that we all know from a certain date that all cars should have the British standard clamps. And so that is the British standard, and we have the reproductions, which are a bit different in the writing and not really functional. They might be good for concours or just to show, but I didn't find them working really good. So that's about it. I hope you gained some new information or confirmed what you already knew, and yeah, keep watching and subscribe for the coming up videos. Thank you very much. Goodbye.